Commissioner Colleen,
Right here.
Commissioner Kenizic, Commissioner Clark Holman, Commissioner Basham,
Present.
Chair Dobb,
Here,
you have a quorum present.
thank you. Next item.
B, Chairwoman's remarks.
I have none. Next item.
C, approval of the November 8th, 2023 meeting minutes.
Been moved by Commissioner Colleen, supported by Commissioner Basham. Please vote. Everyone voted.
Commissioner Colleen.
Commissioner Colleen, have you voted on your tablet?
Motion carried.
I did it.
All right, next item.
D, unfinished business. There is none listed.
Okay, next item.
Item 1, under new business, forwarding report on measures taken by the Treasurer's Office to ensure that residents, especially senior citizens, do not lose their homes due to foreclosure.
I do see that we have the treasurer with us. Would you like to share any comments? Just make sure the microphone's on.
Okay,
Thank you.
good morning, Eric Sabri, Wayne County Treasurer. And Madam Chair, I just prepared a couple of statements just to add to what we sent, just to let you know what we're doing and how we're focusing on seniors a little bit. So I wanted to tell you that, and we do attend a lot of events, distributing our literature like DAAA, AARP, Downriver Community, and Western Wayne, and many faith-based organizations where seniors are active. Also, the outreach to the Block clubs, community organizations, police precinct meetings, and the Detroit City Council district meetings. A lot of seniors are the more active people in those groups, so we attend those with our outreach efforts, letting you know people what payment plans are available. And we've been promoting the My Half program, which is about to come to an end next week, the Michigan Homeowner Assistance Fund. This fund, we promoted it since February of 2022, got 5,800 people, got all their taxes paid, delinquent and current, and $28 million, $24.8 million, I'm sorry, that was actually spent in Wayne County for delinquent property taxes. This program also helped utility payments, mortgage payments, internet services, and homeowner insurance. So we were able to get almost 6,000 people assistance through that program. And our office promoted it even more than the state of Michigan did. So we knew that if we promoted it, we would get more of the dollars. Out of the $220 million that was spent in Michigan, that was sent to Michigan for this program, the Treasurer's Office got almost $25 million out of that. So that was good. I'm sorry that it's coming to an end. We also encourage the seniors to apply for exemptions if their income is low, because there's an exemption for low income. So that's one of the things we encourage us seniors, because many seniors are the ones with the basic low income. They're basically Social Security or some small pensions, and they're living below the limit for an exemption, but because they're able to pay their taxes, they may not know that they should apply. They've just been paying their taxes and making it, but you don't have to be in trouble facing foreclosure to apply if your income is low enough. So we encourage people to apply for the exemptions. Every community has the exemptions, and there are 18 communities in Wayne County that participate in this pay-as-you-stay program, which will basically extinguish about 80% of your back taxes if you get approved for an exemption. And in the city of Detroit, we had over almost 11,000 people that were, since 2020, that were exempt, and all their back taxes were paid. And outside of Detroit, we had about 800 also took advantage of it. Now, the Dan Gilbert Foundation in Detroit pays whatever balance people had when they went through this pay-as-you-stay program. So if you're in the city of Detroit, it could end up with a zero balance. If you're approved outside the city of Detroit, about 80% of your taxes were extinguished, and you had 3 years to pay it off with no interest, penalties, or fees. So that's been a good program. That's still going on, and we're encouraging seniors to apply for that. Also, probate and estate planning information to seniors is something that we focus on. Because if someone isn't living in a home of a deceased relative and they don't own the property, they can't take advantage of the lower interest rate for owner occupants. They couldn't apply for the MyHalf program. They can't apply for the exemption, and they can't apply for things like home repairs. So we encourage people who are living in these homes to go get assistance, to go through probate court. And we have free attorneys from Michigan Legal Services, United Community Housing Coalition, and Lakeshore Legal that can help them through the probate process. And also, if you apply for probate to probate court for a probate case, your property gets removed from foreclosure once we get notified that you've applied. So we encourage people to try to get the property in their name and let us know so we can make sure they don't get foreclosed. Also, we're constantly reminding the children and relatives of seniors to check on their family members, make sure that they're doing okay, because a lot of times they're not paying attention to their bills. And that we find that to be a case. Every year someone, is in the hospital, or they didn't get the notice. Nobody said anything, probably just goes through the system, gets foreclosed. Well, this year we didn't foreclose on any owner occupied property, so we avoided a lot of that. And that was a good thing, because most of those people that we didn't foreclose on were able to apply for the homeowner assistance fund and get all their taxes paid. So that worked out pretty good. I don't know what we're going to do this year coming up, because we still have a lot of people who didn't apply. We'll figure out something. Every year it seems like something comes along and we're able to make it through. So we're working on that. But we have our payment plans available. And is that my time up? Is my time up?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, and one other thing is that we're constantly training our staff to observe behavior of taxpayers when they come in, especially the seniors. If they have other problems, other issues that we can detect, we have other services like we call Wayne Metro, United Community Housing Coalition, to help them with other issues. Like if we could tell that they're not really coherent or they're not really sure of what's going on, we'll try to train the staff to pay attention to that and alert us so we can kind of direct them to get some other help. So that's what we're doing. And our services are available to everyone, but we do know that seniors are most vulnerable to scams, as well as just being not aware of what's going on. So I just wanted to come in case you had any other questions too.
Great. Commissioner Basham has a question.
Sort of a comment more than and maybe a question too. I'm a senior. I don't know if you knew that.
Yeah,
I'm a veteran.
I'm with you too. I'm in that same club.
The thing of it is, I even have a staff person who has a daughter that can't work because of severe asthma and goes to the hospital every month and all this other stuff. So this don't apply to her. We're talking about seniors. It's good to think about seniors, but also you got to think about other people too. And then the other part of that too is there's all sorts of people who are older, can be classified as a senior. Some people say over 55, some 65, some 75. But the point is, there's people looking for people to do employment, to have them a sense of purpose. Seniors shouldn't just think they got to sit home now and be, under less revenue than younger people and all this sort of stuff. So we need to make sure that we have an incentive out there for people that are older to maybe you should think about getting a job and communicating with people rather than sitting home by yourself. And so we're looking at this as like, it's nice to be charitable and all this stuff, but we need to look at the other side too. And a lot of people don't want to say that because it's controversial. And I honestly think that if we sat down at the table and actually open the doors and have everybody have an open discussion, I think we might find even more resources. The last items you talked about, I really appreciate. But I just think that in the bigger picture, I think there's more to it, and to give people incentive to not get employed. And I know people that are under the age of being a senior that are on fixed income because of a lung disease or whatever. But we don't even want to talk about smoking. They're maybe they're got like that because they smoke 2 packs of cigarettes a day. I mean, that kind of stuff. So this is a bigger issue. You're on a huge issue. And I appreciate you working to support that and us supporting that, but it is a bigger issue. So, you know, employers can't find employees. And
Yeah.
maybe there's a fit out there for people. And if you come downriver, you'll see on most every corner, there's somebody standing out there holding a sign up saying, homeless, please help. But they have resources for those people, and they make more money standing there doing that than somebody over at Burger King. And so this is a big issue. And so
I agree with you on this,
write
because
that down.
we have,
Sorry.
you know, we have, well, I try to use an analogy when our office, we're in the emergency room most of the time.
Mhm.
And we need to get out of the emergency room and go deal with the root causes of these problems. And I think that's what you're talking about.
Yes, sir.
And the root causes, as we talk about education and employment and health, mental health, and all those things, they contribute to the issue of property tax foreclosure. And that's why we're like I say, we want to get out of the emergency room and work on preventative care and get to that point where we're actually resolving problems upstream. Unfortunately for me, I don't get to decide how to spend the money. So, and probably that's fortunate for the county too, that I don't get to decide how to spend the money, but you guys get to decide how to spend it. And I think that we look at the ARPA funds that the county has and some of the things we still have left that we haven't spent, you know, that might be somewhere that, you know, you could look into as well.
It's always middle ground. Thank you.
All right. Thanks.
Commissioner Clark Coleman.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Eric, first of all, I just want to say that I agree that Eric is certainly out there. I go to my community meetings, to neighborhood associations. Eric is there, or his staff members are there, advising people about how they keep from getting their houses, keep them from going into foreclosure. I also noticed that he does a lot for a lot of Zoom. He's on Zoom quite a bit with different elected officials, talking about what he's doing out there and how people can save their homes from foreclosure. So I do appreciate you being out there in the area, and I can understand why you were able to help so many people, because you got the word out that there's something else you can do. So let me ask you something. Do you think there's any, I know that in the past, the legislature stepped in and helped you out by allowing you to extend your program of helping those folks who are needy. Do you think that there's a chance that there will be any legislation this year?
Well, the legislation that we had really helped us to lower the interest rate for owner occupants,
Right.
extend that time. And we were trying to remove the sunset. It's supposed to sunset in 2025. We want to try to remove that so we can continue it. Also, there's some legislation that will allow the interest rate to be reduced for everyone else, including the landlords and business owners. That's something that it died in a committee, and they started a bill 2 years ago, and it just died, never got anywhere. But that's something that I think it was sponsored by Mary Kavanaugh when she was in the House, and then it didn't go anywhere. But that was done because some of the business owners and landlords were saying, "Hey, we need some help too. We know can we lower the interest rate from 18% to 6%?" So it might be a compromise and lower it to 12% instead of 18 in the middle. I think that might be what happens if it goes forward. But that's one thing. The money that we had came from the federal government, the money that we use for the Michigan Homeowner Assistance Fund.
Right.
And that was something that I don't know if we're going to see that kind of money again. I doubt it. But unless the state comes up with something through MSHDA, I don't know well, of course, I would support it, and I know you would too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, yeah, so I just want to thank you for being out there, because you are certainly, at every meeting I go to out in the community, I see either you or your staffers out there, making reports on how they can, what measures, they can take to save their.
I even
homes.
asked the state, I said, so you should reimburse us. I asked them for a reimbursement for the advertising that we do. Because I said, we're spending more money than you are to advertise the program. It's a state program. So they just ignored my request. They didn't respond.
So you don't see any way that more additional funds might be appropriated?
Well,
for-
I'll tell you that we had our congressional delegation, Rashida Tlaib, Debbie Dingle, especially those two, they were very adamant in getting this money that we have. And they fought to help taxpayers, especially Rashida Tlaib went to the Treasury Department to try to help taxpayers who owed beyond 2019 taxes. Because originally it was, if you owe 19 taxes and going forward, the program would help you. But if you owe 2018, 17, anything prior, it wasn't going to apply. But they were able to fight to get that money to apply to all those years.
Oh, okay.
So that was good. That was good. But the money's going to run out. And Mitch just said we're not taking any applications after December 5th. So that's next week. And so that means that don't encourage people. So we stopped all of our ads for My Half program. And we're just trying to figure out where we're going to get some more money. So, but as Commissioner Basham said, it's not always just getting money to give people. It's really also trying to solve the problem. And the probate issue is one thing that we can, if we solve that, we have about 500 people right now that we know that are in danger of losing foreclosure because of the probate issue. They're in probate issue. So that could solve that takes 500 people right out of the foreclosure cycle if we can reach them and work with them. So
is it just owner occupied ones that were in this program, or was it
owner occupied only? Yes.
Owner
Occupants.
Owner occupied, not.
And we have to do an education because some people don't have the principal residence exemption,
Right.
which shows that they're an owner occupant.
Right.
So we treat them as a rental property, and we look at it, and we would treat them as a rental property, and we find out later, they usually call us after they get foreclosed and say, hey, I'm the owner occupant. I'm not supposed to get foreclosed.
Right.
And then we have to say, well, you didn't file with the city, and so go through the process, and then we end up removing them from foreclosure. So this happens a lot. So we're trying to educate people to file the paperwork with the city, get your name on the tax roll so we know that you're the owner occupant, and then we can treat you differently.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you so much.
Hey, thanks for giving me all this time. I appreciate
But,
it.
A few more questions.
Sure.
Commissioner Kanizik?
I'll start by saying I'm not a senior like Commissioner Basham. Appreciate you though. First, appreciate you. Great social media game and always out and in the community. So I know that matters a lot to us, and all my local treasurers talk about how engaged you are with them too. So thank you. When we get periodically the list of homes that are at risk of foreclosure, we use that to communicate to folks directly about resources and help and what have you. Is it a possibility of getting also a breakdown of the My Half expenditures and where they were invested? Not because I'm looking for trends or anything, or not because I would expect to see more investment in some places than others, but just so that we can communicate with our district and others. This is what happened and this is what flowed into.
Sure.
into our
We can do
cities.
that. We have
Okay.
those stats.
Okay, that's it.
Who received the funds and even how much.
Yeah.
Okay.
Send that information to Joe
Okay.
so that we all can share it.
All right. Thank you.
Commissioner Colleen?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good afternoon, Treasurer Shabri.
Good afternoon.
Pay while you stay. That program is still active, correct?
Still active. Yes.
Did you say only 18 of the 43 communities have approved that?
Yes. Because it costs the community some money.
Yeah, I know. I don't
Yeah.
want to get into
Yeah,
that
yeah.
too much. I understand. You got
understand
local
how it
city
works.
councils and mayors and,
Yeah, 18.
can you share, as you send over the other information, who the 18 communities are?
Certainly.
So that we as
yeah.
commissioners, see, I thought it was every community, but now we as commissioners, if we know
Okay.
that those are communities in our district, then we can also be
Oh, yeah.
making people aware.
Okay, we have a slide. I'll just copy that and send
Sure,
it.
that would be great. Thank
Yeah.
you.
All right.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
And then Commissioner Basham, did you have?
Yeah, just,
Final
I'll be brief, Madam Chair. In a different life, I used to be a constable elected in service, lots of certified. I did evictions. And this was in the nineties, late nineties. 60 to 80% of the evictions I did were drug related, 60 to 80%.
Hmm.
It's even worse than that today. Plus the places that you did evictions, they were atrocious. I won't get into it about having to buy suits for the guys that would work for me that would move the stuff out and dogs pooping under the beds for 3 months and things like that. Some of the filthiest, nastiest houses you ever seen were the ones that were finally getting evicted.
Mm.
And one of them that was recently done by a Corps officer that did an eviction recently was a $5,000 electric bill. And they had 24 plants in the basement growing marijuana. I mean, so there should be some accountability. You talk about the people that were not, you don't see them making a lot of money, not properly, but they're making it on the side and stuff. All that stuff. And I loved what you said about getting out of the emergency room and trying to find a resolution. But that really bugs me about us not as a elected body finding resolutions to some of this stuff, because we're enablers. We're not trying to get them to where they can get up and function as a and again, a different light. I was even the EAP and put people in treatment, mental health and substance abuse. So this is a big issue. And so just to fund it and say you can live there, you don't have to pay your taxes and stuff is troublesome for me. I'll shut up. Thank you.
I wanted to just say to you as a veteran that we wanted you to join us next year at our veterans event, because we had a good event this year, our 7th annual Veterans Resource Fair, and that's where we also reach a lot of seniors too. Come to the veterans event. We had about 400 people came this year, and was good. Commissioner Baker McCormick came. She spoke representing the commission, but next year I want you to join us. Yes, because we appreciate what the veterans. Like I say, less than 1% of you guys that take the oath and put on the uniform to defend this country. So we want to say thank you.
So I think that is the end of our questions from commissioners. So thank you very much for being here with us today. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to go through the entire report and then we'll take one motion and support at the end. So, Madam Clerk, next item, please.
Item 2, forwarding a Wayne County Connect 43 Steering Committee report.
Okay.
Hi, good afternoon. This is Mike Jameson,
Hi, Mike.
Connect 43 Project Director.
Good afternoon, Patty Hollenkamp, Project Coordinator.
Hello. Can you just, give us a quick update on the report?
Absolutely, yeah. So this is the second of the revised format where we're providing you both the most recent steering committee document as well as the minutes from that steering committee. The first page contains a summary of the information contained in the document. So I'll just give you some of the highlights. The big items from this report are the entrance into what we're calling PP3 or systems integration testing. And this is essentially where a lot of the core subject matter experts and the Oracle consulting team really test the information that, if you remember from our prior discussions, was converted from our legacy PeopleSoft system and put into Oracle. And so now they're going into Oracle and running their processes really in an attempt to make sure that all of the core processes work, and then trying to break the system via testing to see if we have any showstoppers or items that we need to address before we move into what's called user acceptance testing, where a broader group of end users will be brought in to test. So that was kind of the main item going on related to the HCM team. Relatedly, we not in October, but early November, we got approval for what we're calling the replan, which is essentially the revised schedule for human capital management, ERP, and then enterprise performance management. That was approved and is contained in the slide. So more information on that will be coming to this body shortly, but that information is in the deck for your review. In terms of our other waves, we continue design and configuration discussions with the budget module, and we formally revised the kickoff for our ERP to January. So we'll be planning for that kickoff now, and we're doing some pre-planning activities just to make sure that we have the proper resources and information in place to make the kickoff successful. The new PMO continued is finalizing its transition activities, and then we're going through the process of reviewing all of the existing documents as we transition to the new PMO to just make sure that we're crossing T's and dotting I's, including communication plans, governance plans, and the like. Also, this is more just of a heads up. We are planning to send out communication for a January town hall where we'll formally walk through the revised schedule with the greater masses and key stakeholders. So look for that information to come shortly. Other than that, the document is a way more detailed form of what we previously sent you. So lots of good information in there, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Okay, do we have any questions from commissioners? Hey, it looks like we're all set.
Okay.
Thank you for the update.
One quick item and more of a foreshadow to item number 5. Because of the revised HCM schedule, we did proactively see a need to make sure that we had the ability to continue to maintain PeopleSoft and run payroll, as critical as that item is, in calendar year 2024. So item number 5 does relate to the revised Connect 43 planning. So that's just more of a foreshadowing. I'll let the DUIT team speak more to that when that item comes up on the agenda.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. All right. Okay, Madam Clerk, next item.
Item 3, forwarding report on Indigent Defense Services Department, criminal indigent defense related activities.
Okay.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Robin Dillard Rousseau, Director of Indigent Defense Services Department.
Oh, I don't think the microphone's on.
Thank you. Sorry.
Okay.
Good morning. Afternoon. Angela Peterson. I'm the assigned council administrator with IDS.
Just an overview of the report, please.
Thank you, Commissioner Dobb, and my apologies for not being in person. COVID has hit my household, so thank you.
Oh, well, thank you for staying home.
Absolutely. So the report is based upon the ordinance and the outline from the budget and the ordinance. And we just basically prepared, Commissioner Dobb, for this body's review, all the information of our department's activities for fiscal 23, as well as an overview of fiscal 24. We've been before this body previously detailing some of the activities. So I'll leave that for your review in the report. But 2 things that I did want to highlight that were great successes for us in fiscal 23 was the conversion of the assignment process in full from Third Circuit Court to our department, meaning that we now handle the entire assignment process through the rotation of attorneys for those felony cases, as well as the creation of our Defender Support Unit, which is our holistic defense team approach for indigent clients. So both of those items are now fully under our control. We have some great successes. And to Commissioner Colleen's point about data, we truly believe the Defender Support Unit data and case outcome information is going to be very useful for us in the future. So we're looking forward to the development of that program through fiscal 24. And we'll certainly come back before this body, given the occasion, to discuss what the results are as we move through that program. So those are just the 2 main highlights that I wanted to to point out for fiscal 23, but certainly everything that has been requested through the ordinance has been included in our report for your review.
Okay. All right, sounds good. Do we have any commissioner questions? Commissioner Colleen?
Thank you, Madam Chair. And good afternoon, Attorney Peterson and Dillards. Thank you for this report. This really is comprehensive. Am I understanding from this report now that the Michigan Indigent Defense Commission up in Lansing has approved all of the standards?
Yes,
They're all-
that is correct, Commissioner Colleen.
Okay, so you're going to be implementing the last few
That is correct. So
as we're going now.
yes, standard 6 and 7 passed on October 24th. So a plan for those standards would be due in our fiscal 25 plan. So that is
Okay.
due to my DC in April.
And what year did this department start? 21?
Well, we were officially a department in 2021, but if you recall, we started as that division under Corp Counsel in 2020.
Yeah, because I was looking at the data on page 4 of your report. You talk about initial client visits. Third quarter of 2020, if I'm reading this right, 271 initial client visits. So I assume that's clients speaking with their assigned attorney.
Correct.
And now in 2023, that's 4,500.
Yes.
That has to bode well for proper defense
Certainly.
of these individuals. So I was delighted to see that. And I understand there's more data coming. Under the historical trends on page 15, what is that graph telling me? Total cases from 2019 to 2022.
So
Those
that, I'm sorry, Commissioner Colleen.
No, go ahead.
Yep. So that graph is basically showing you from the data we gather from Third Circuit Court for the criminal case tiers, the number of cases or case loads that the court records on a year-to-year basis. So those numbers come directly from Third Circuit Odyssey, showing these are the criminal cases that were opened or assigned or pending during a specific calendar year. So if you look at that trend, it went up back in 2020. Load is still, it's coming down slightly. And that's due to a number of reasons, still considering some of the backlog, even though the backlog has been, sort of remedied a little bit. But that is showing the entire trend from a calendar year from Third Circuit Court data.
But this is cases involving indigent defendants.
It's involving the entire criminal case universe.
The entire criminal, okay. So to tease out the indigent, okay. Couple other things I want to point out in page 6 of the report where the area of expertise, I've been very concerned about that. But I'm looking at things like bringing in help on psych cases in 2019, bringing psychiatrists in, I'm sure, and doing evaluations. 9 in 2019, indigent defendants, only 9 got help. It's 103 now.
Yes.
And as I look down all of those, IT, yeah, didn't have any in 2019, now 96. So just the fact that we're able to bring experts in these various areas, DNA mitigation, it also bodes well. And then also when I look at your report on money spent on indigent defense, that's on the top of page 7. So the 2019 numbers, that was how much was spent on indigent defense in Wayne County in that year?
On investigators and experts in Wayne County.
All the experts, okay. So that came to 24,000. Now we're spending 262 million. And again, I think that bodes very well for doing proper defense. And the last one I want to point to is on page 17 report, total payments to contract attorneys. So when we look at from 2020 to 2023, Wayne County was spending in 2020 just over $1 million for attorneys for indigent defense.
That is
That would be correct.
That's correct. These days we're spending more like 10 to 11 million.
Certainly, and more has been allotted. We're hoping to get the
Say that again,
attorneys.
please.
More has been allotted by the state. We're hoping to get the attorneys to bill more frequently so that we can show a much greater increase.
Yeah,
We've removed the disincentive.
okay. And so that was just my last question. How are attorneys responding to signing up and being approved to be defense attorneys for indigent? You getting enough attorneys?
We are continually recruiting, Your Honor, but particularly right now across the state, many jurisdictions are struggling for capital certified attorneys for the more serious cases.
I see, yeah.
The law schools are not graduating as many attorneys, and public defense is not typically the target for the law school graduate. But we have been eagerly recruiting. We are now able to recruit attorneys that would otherwise not do public service because the state has allowed for an increase to the attorney fee. And so there's no longer an attorney receiving a pittance to represent a murder client. And so we're able to attract talent, more skilled, seasoned attorneys.
So your pool of attorneys is growing?
Certainly growing. We've just got to get them all on board.
Yeah. And I think if you talk to Commission's Auditor General, she'll tell you the same story about colleges and universities not training anybody in public
Right.
accounting. And you're telling me this, everybody wants to go to the big money, I guess, or whatever.
Certainly.
But thank you for the report. This is just terrific.
Thank you.
And how comprehensive it is. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Any other questions? Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Madam Clerk, next item.
Item 4, forwarding a detailed breakdown report comparing the results from fiscal year 21 through 22 to fiscal year 2022 through 23 for technology contracts, and a detailed report regarding the county's tech refresh initiative.
All right, do we have any questions on item number 4? Did you want to address us on this item? Briefly? Okay. Microphone on and name and title for the record.
Hello, Hector Roman, Director of IT for Wayne County CIO. Just wanted to talk about just the tech refresh report of what we did last fiscal year. Our plans for this fiscal year is we are putting out a bid for more laptops and computers. And then we're going to be increasing that money for the continuing fiscal years, because there are going to be more laptops that we are going to be replacing in the near future.
Okay. Great. Any questions? Thank you for joining us. Okay, Madam Clerk, next item.
Item 5, requesting commission approval of a sole source master services agreement with Remini Street Inc. for PeopleSoft support and 2024 PeopleSoft payroll tax updates for payroll, W-2, and 1099-R processing.
Okay, and we kind of got a little heads up on this item already, but please state your name and title for the record.
Hi, Greg Boss.
Is your microphone on?
Yeah, it
Sorry.
is.
Okay.
Yeah. Greg Boss, Division Director, Enterprise Applications for Wayne County.
Okay.
Dan Savage, local representation for Rimini Street.
All right. And can you just tell us a little bit about this item, please?
So I think, as you're aware, and as my peer in M&B just spoke to the point.
Close to you.
Sure. The Connect 43 project, its timeline has been extended a little bit. As a result of that, our payroll processing is still being done through PeopleSoft today and will continue to need to be viable through the duration of the project. As a result of that, and the fact that Oracle no longer provides tax update support for us, we wanted to make sure that we maintain that viability by bringing in a partner that was able to provide us with those software updates as well as support for the platform until we go live on the HCM product space and retire PeopleSoft.
Okay. All right. Any questions? Commissioner Colleen?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Given the timeline receding a little bit, are there other things that you are aware of now, kind of like this item, that we will have to spend some money on to build a bridge to the new system? Do we have stuff that we're gonna have to renew or buy? You know, is that in our future?
So we actually have a contract in place for support for our JD Edwards environment for the next 3 years. However, if the timeline for the project expends, and more than what's expected there in terms of the duration for implementing the ERP side of things and getting us off JD Edwards, we might need to look at an alternative there as well.
I see. So, okay, possibly.
Yeah,
more to
down the
come.
road.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay. All right, we all set? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Clerk, next item.
Item 6, requesting commission approval of Amendment 1 to a 5-year contract with a 2-year option to renew with Trace 3 LLC to purchase a communication calling plan and incorporate the terms and conditions into the original contract from Call Tower Inc. to continue providing voice over internet protocol services and all necessary licenses via Cisco Unified Communications.
All right. Are there any questions on this item? Hearing none, next item.
Item 7, requesting commission approval of Amendment 1 to a 3-year comparable source professional services contract with CTS companies to add phones to 3 locations and to continue providing project coordination, installation, and leasing of telephone equipment and training at 4 county probation offices.
Any questions or discussion on this item? Okay, should we take all this together? Well, okay. Okay, Madam Clerk, can you read 8, 9, and 10 together? It's a split bid.
Item 8, requesting commission approval of a 3-year purchase order with 2 1-year options to renew with CDW Government LLC to provide standard hardware, software subscriptions, and warranties for technology commodities. Item 9, requesting commission approval of a 3-year purchase order with 2 1-year options to renew with SHI International Corp. To provide standard hardware, software, subscriptions, and warranties for technology commodities. Item 10, requesting commission approval of a 3-year purchase order with 2 1-year options to renew with Insight Public Sector Inc. to provide hardware, software, subscriptions, and warranties for technology commodities.
Any questions on 8, 9, and or 10? All right, let's move on to the next item.
Item 11, requesting commission approval of retroactive amendment 2 to a 3-year contract with 2 1-year options to renew with Xanadu Bottled Water Company to continue providing water supplies and delivery of 5-gallon bottles, dispensers, sterilization, and other miscellaneous supplies related to the dispensing of water.
We good on this item, Commissioner Basham?
Why is this a retroactive contract? Amendment, I'm sorry.
Anyone here for item number 11? Xanadu Bottled Water. You know who that would be? All right. Okay, so this is for management and budget who does not appear to be at this meeting. So we don't have an answer for you, Commissioner Basham. Sorry, maybe they will answer us at full board. All right, let's move on to the next item, Madam Clerk.
Item 12, requesting commission approval of a 2-year intergovernmental agreement with Wayne County Airport Authority for the county's Office of Corporation Counsel, Human Relations, Business Inclusion Division to serve as the certifying agency for the Airport Authority's U.S. Department of Transportation Disadvantaged Business Enterprise Airport Concessions Disadvantaged Business Enterprise Program.
Hello, Nate. Is there a microphone on? I can never tell. Name and title for the record.
Hi, I am Jay Amore, Deputy Director for Human Relations Business Inclusion Division.
All right, great. Can you just tell us a little bit about this item, please?
Yes, our office has provided a service, this particular service for the airport since its inception in 1970. We provided the service throughout, and when the authority when the airport became its own authority, we continued the service for free. However, our former director decided that, they should pay us for the service. So we're just asking for this to continue that.
All right, just do we have any questions?
I agree.
Commissioner Colleen?
So this would be the first time the airport would pay for these services?
Oh, no, they've been paying for over 15, 17 years now. It's a continual thing. It's just the contract's only for 2 years.
Oh, it's just a renewal.
It's just a
I
renewal.
thought
Yes,
we've
sir.
been doing
Oh,
this
yeah,
for
yeah,
a long
absolutely.
time.
Yeah.
And they've been paying for it for
Oh, yeah,
15 years.
they pay monthly.
Okay, beautiful.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
They couldn't get a better deal.
Yeah,
Probably not.
Thank you for joining us.
thank you.
Okay, I think that is the end of the report. Can I get a motion? It's been moved by Commissioner Clark Coleman and supported by Commissioner Colleen. Please, any last questions, comments? Okay, please vote.
What a vote, Rick.
Voted.
Motion carried.
I'll get you a little sticker.
Thank
I voted.
you. Next item.
F, such other matters as may be properly submitted before the committee.
Okay, I have none. Next item.
G, public comments.
Did we receive any emails?
No emails were received.
Okay, is there anyone on the phone or on Zoom who would like to make a public comment? Oh, Commissioner Basham has one.
I apologize, Madam Chair. I'm a no 11.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Can we note that, Madam Clerk? No, for Commissioner Basham on item number 11.
Duly noted.
Thank you. Okay, anyone on the phone or on Zoom who wishes to make a public comment, please just unmute yourself. Go ahead. Or if there's anyone in the chambers, please join us at the table. Last call for public comments. Hearing none. Next item.
Adjournment.
So move support.
Supporting that.
Support.